Michael Jordan was born February 17th, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. He moved to Wilmington, North Carolina in 1968 at 5 years old. He enjoyed basketball and baseball at a young age, and he played basketball during high school. He did not make the varsity team his freshman or sophomore year, so instead opted to play for the junior varsity team where he dominated the court. Um, During the summer, he worked hard nonstop and eventually made it onto the varsity team and averaged a 25 points per game during his senior season. In college, so Michael Jordan went to North Carolina University and played for the Tar Heels. He averaged 13.4 points per game in his freshman year and won the Freshman of the Year award. And he also won an NCAA championship in 1982 with a shot he hit to win the game. And he described that shot as a turning point in his career. He played for the Tar Heels for 3 years and averaged 17.7 points per game with a 54% field goal average. Before he even joined a NBA team, he played for the 1984 Olympics team. He led the team in scoring, and they went undefeated with little to no contests. He scored an average of 17.1 points per game, and the team won by an average of 32 points per game. This was the first appearance of Michael Jordan to the rest of the world and the first time that the world got to see a future star. MJ was picked third overall by the Chicago Bulls, and he quickly grabbed attention from fans, not even just Chicago fans, but fans from other teams. He averaged 28.2 points per game and had a 51.5% field goal average and quickly became a fan favorite. He won Rookie of the Year that year and even made the starting All-Star team. His rookie year, and veteran players were against that idea, and they avoided passing it to him because they did not believe that he deserved to be there. The Bulls struggled in the final, not struggled to make it to the finals. They struggled to get past the first few games, and they struggled to beat the Celtics, who were a very good team. And despite Michael Jordan's efforts and his constant domination on the court, he still was not good enough because he did not have a team that could back him up. The Bulls needed something more than just MJ. And this was demonstrated in his 1986 to 1987 season, where he managed to score 3,000 points and an average of 37.1 points per game. And he also racked in 200 steals and 100 blocks that season, and they still did not make it past the first series of the playoffs. The Bulls began to develop a core group of players, including Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, and they started to gain more success. Yet they could not beat the Pistons in their conference finals, which would be their final roadblock that they hit before they actually start to gain success. So finally, in 1991 to 1992 season, the Bulls finally won the finals. They finally beat the Pistons and everyone else in their conference and made it to the finals and won it all. And they won it back to back to back for 3 years straight. The MJ and his teammates were unstoppable, and Jordan won 2 consecutive MVPs. His first retirement happened in 1994. And this was driven by the loss of his father, and he went into a career in baseball, which is not very impressive. Finally, Jordan returned in 1995 and started off a little rusty, but dropped 55 points in his 5th game back, and his return was welcomed in Chicago. They did not make the finals that year because they were stopped by the Orlando Magic in a almost humiliating manner. Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and new addition Dennis Rodman were absolutely unstoppable in 1995 to 1996 during their revenge tour. They went on to achieve a record of 72 to 10, and when they entered the playoffs, they humiliated everyone they faced. They dominated in the playoffs in a manner that can only be described as unstoppable, and they went on to sweep the team that beat them the year before. Jordan and crew continued their domination for the next 2 years. In total, Jordan won 5 MVP titles. They won the finals the next 2 years after the revenge tour. So they went on for another three-peat for the second time in a decade. And in 2001, and after this, he retired again. And then he returned again in 2001 to 2003 to play for the Washington Wizards. But his first season was injury plagued, and he missed 60 games. And he finally passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for all-time scoring in All-Star game history. His final season was in 2002 to 2003 season, and teams and players recognized this and paid tribute to this legend on the court.